the need for, I think, junior engineers is decreasing now. First of all, they need to stop relying on their job to gain knowledge.
The rest of the 8 hours is the algorithm like feeding you shit, right? You need to like find gold in that shit. This single word can literally change how you approach upskilling.
मतलब तुम्हें कभी लगता है ना कि यार ये सोल्यूशन बहुत सिंपल है, ये हो नहीं सकता.
My 8th class computer teacher used to tell me कि अगर कोई भी चीज़ सीखनी है तो पहली चीज़ है गुरु की तलाश. How did you find the mentors you had in your life?
I think there is a first of all the misconception कि mentor और teacher किधर देखते लोग.
So this was like a hidden hack for me. I did not know about this before, but I think most people should know about it. This is Breaking Prod, where developers ditch the script and tell the real story. I am Vivek, and in every episode, we dive into the moments which do not make it to the release notes. The wins, the weird pivots, the human mess behind those clean commits. If you're someone who's building and breaking or just figuring it out, welcome home. If this is your first time tuning in, you're listening to part 3 of our mini series called Standing Out as a Developer. So we talked about how we want to communicate, how if someone is exerting too much, they're going to lead into burnout. And when a person is beyond their limits, the first step obviously is just survival. But after you have learned how to survive in the game, the next natural step should be like how you want to grow in the game as well, how you want to get better at that game. And so compared to a lot of people, I've seen very few of them actually focus on upskilling themselves after they've got a job. When someone is not having a job, like for example, when you were on a sabbatical, right, as you mentioned earlier, you were reading, you were like thinking about, you talked about a book, DDIA, which you were reading. And a lot of people think that when they are not in a job, then it's the time to upskill. And when they've got the job, then like the job will teach them everything or whatever they require. But I think like that's not the case in most of the times. And a lot of smart and 10x or high agency engineers I've seen, they do keep upskilling while like at the job, while they're at the job. One thing which I have realized is that like in today's world, when we are working both in AI, I think the half-life of technical skills has gone down way too low. Like about like 3 to 4 years probably. Maybe in 3 to 4 years, whatever you know, maybe like half obsolete, right? So that has become very like alarming if people are not trying to upskill themselves. What is like how do you think about this scenario currently with the AI world, and maybe like in general, what are your thoughts on that?
So I definitely feel that we are in a field where we have to keep on learning and improving ourselves, because if we don't, then we as software engineers become obsolete in no time. And with AI being so good, the need for, I think, junior engineers is decreasing now. With that, let's say someone is 15 years into their career and they're not actually improving themselves from a knowledge perspective. But now when we see the AI boom now and they don't adapt to it, it's like being a deer in front of a headlight.
I mean, when we talk about that, how do you keep like, I know you keep posting a lot of stuff, so I know you're reading a lot. What is like something which you recently learned, which is like, damn, this is something which is very interesting, which has happened? It could be something which is very overhyped and then you realize that it's that overhyped after reading it. Or it could be something which is very underrated and people are not talking a lot about it.
I was like recently building a MCP server for myself and was seeing like what's the hype all about.
Would you want to break down MCP into simpler terms for people to understand? Maybe a lot of junior engineers would be watching this and they would have just picked up on the hype.
I think it's they are trying to build a protocol which helps in the communication with the agent.
Okay.
तो जैसे अभी हम APIs को बोलते हैं कि APIs में HTTP आया and like REST APIs and all. What happens is that we have set a, let's say, an instruction set or let's say a rule set for कि अच्छा ऐसी बात करनी है APIs के through, and that is how they have said. It is the same thing that is happening right now with agents, because now they are a new type of, let's say, communication layer that we're trying to build with MCP. एक सर्वर है, उसमें कुछ फंक्शंस हमने वो कर रखे, बनाए रखे. मैंने तो पाइथन में बनाया, तो इट वाज मोस्टली लाइक कि अच्छा टूल्स हैं, प्रॉम्प्ट हैं, there was resources. मतलब the whole experience was not really good for me क्योंकि from both perspective, from a perspective कि अच्छा client कैसे consume करेगा इस MCP server को and how I'm building this MCP server. Both of these, like the whole क्या बोलते हैं अपना experience of both was really bad. जैसे कि मैं उसमें क्लाउड डेस्कटॉप पे मैंने कनेक्ट करने की कोशिश करी व्हेन आई वाज बिल्डिंग माय ओन. तो if I'm making some changes to the, let's say, the server, MCP server, तो मुझे वो क्लाउड डेस्कटॉप का ऐप बंद करना पड़ रहा है and then reopen it.
अच्छा, वो hot reload is not there
It's
yet.
not hot reload plus also कि it's like simple things. अब जैसे tools, resources and let's say prompt है. If I'm telling you, you know about AI, ठीक है? And if you have not worked, let's say, built an MCP server, तो वो जो terms हैं, it's not very intuitive to you कि क्या है ये मतलब. And when you build it, you will feel कि इसकी ज़रूरत क्या है. मतलब I do see the value in having a protocol, standard protocol कि अच्छा हम agent से ऐसी ही बात करेंगे. Because then what it does is कि सारे SDKs को standardize कर देगा वो. अभी क्या हो गया कि लोगों ने उसको hype कर दिया है कि this is it. मतलब I do love the concept and the thinking behind it and I do see the value. लेकिन जितना लोगों ने हवा बना दिया ना उसका उतना वो उसमें अभी नहीं है.
अभी सब्सटेंस नहीं उतना उसमें.
अभी उतना सब्सटेंस नहीं है बिकॉज इट्स वेरी प्रिलिमिनरी टू से एनीथिंग. इट माइट हैपन कि वो चले ही ना.
बट आई थिंक एनीथिंग व्हिच is launched today, right? Because of the flow of information, how fast it is. If you see, there's a chart called as Gartner hype chart, जो ऐसे करके ऊपर जाता है, फिर एक नीचे जाता है, फिर ऊपर ऐसे स्टेबलाइज हो जाता है. Anything like अभी DeepSeek आया था, for example, right? And DeepSeek में भी इन्होंने ऐसे ही लॉजिक लगाया था कि भाई DeepSeek is the like OpenAI breaker, whatever, right? And I tweeted something along the lines that once this hype is over, like everyone's just gonna go back to OpenAI. Right. And because it's not just because how the product is, it's because how they're positioning and like how they are trying to make it friendlier to use. Right. After, and that was, I think, around 1 month or few weeks after I posted this, OpenAI launched image generation. And then everyone, I mean, my mom knows about Ghibli images now, so which is insane. I mean, it has hit critical mass already. That my mom is asking me that, oh, तुमने भी वो Ghibli images बनाए ChatGPT से? I was like, आपको क्यों पता है ये चीज़ first of all? और पता है तो कैसे? Like, is it that common now that WhatsApp forwards में Ghibli images आने वाले हैं?
मेरे बाबू मुझे कॉल कर रहे हैं, Ghibli image बना दे मेरी.
हाँ, तो मतलब it is evolving so fast. And if you see like 2 years back, तब image generation कुछ नहीं था. I think that's where MCP could be right now. Maybe not, maybe, but I think evolution is required at some point. जितना मैंने अभी तक पढ़ा उसके बारे में. But how do you go about like finding all of this? Like for example, अभी जैसे MCP आया, right? This could be a very recent example, but I think this would have been something which you have inculcated over time. How do you find new resources to read about?
आई एम मोस्टली एक्टिव ऑन सोशल मीडिया. तो वो रहता है कि सही लोगों को फॉलो करो. तो जैसे कि आई फील कि सोशल मीडिया व्हाट इट डज इज इट्स जस्ट इम्प्रूव्स योर डिस्कवरेबिलिटी टू फ्यू थिंग्स. तो आई हैव ट्रेन माई फीड एज सच कि मैं सिर्फ टेक की चीज़ लाइक करता हूँ. तो इट जस्ट कीप्स ऑन शोइंग मी टेक की थिंग्स.
एल्गोरिथम हैकिंग.
एल्गोरिथम हैकिंग. तो अब उसमें ये हो गया कि आई डू गेट थिंग्स कि अच्छा मेरे उस पर आ गया कि अच्छा किसी ने गूगल स्टूडियो के बारे में डाला. आई वाज लाइक कि आई थिंक मैंने फर्स्ट डे सेकंड डे पे मैंने डाल दिया था कि मैं कैसे यूज़ करके मैंने डाल दिया. तो इट वाज जस्ट बिकॉज कि आई हैड दैट आई वाज फॉलोइंग द राइट पीपल, लाइकिंग द राइट पोस्ट which trained my algorithm to show me the right things.
In today's time, I think algorithm hacking or curating your feed is like one of the biggest skills or biggest like signals you should like look into. उसका reason ये है कि when you're not working, you are possibly consuming a lot of social media, right? So हमने like in the previous episode we figured out how to fix work which is 8 hours. The rest of the 8 hours is the algorithm like feeding you shit, right? You need to like find gold in that shit, right? कि कैसे तुम उसको feed कर सकते हो.
It's like taming a beast.
Yeah, I mean, and the beast is evolving constantly. So you have to constantly keep training it with the right things. How like apart from the social media aspect, how do you like continue? So social media I think is the top of the funnel, right? What next? How do you go deeper into that?
So definitely social media improves the discoverability for me. After that what I do is कि जाके ChatGPT सर्च करा तो आई स्टिल डिफॉल्ट कि अच्छा मुझे कुछ जल्दी सीखना है, आई डिफॉल्ट टू ChatGPT. इफ आई वांट टू एक्चुअली लर्न थिंग एंड मतलब मुझे प्रैक्टिकल करना है तो आई यूजुअली लुक फॉर ब्लॉग्स या YouTube videos. YouTube videos more because I prefer video content more.
Okay.
On top of क्योंकि it's just easier for me, पता नहीं, follow like personal bias for
I hope the
videos.
people who are watching this also prefer video content a lot.
Personal bias है तो I usually go to YouTube video समझ लेता हूँ उधर से, या अच्छा कोई बहुत बढ़िया सा blog दिखा है तो I will just read through it, like skim through it. I'm not looking to let's say get a like master नहीं बनना मुझे उसमें. I am just क्या बोलते हैं वाइंडिंग माई नॉलेज. तो इवन इफ आई नो सम बेसिक्स दैट्स ओके. अब मुझे उसके बाद अगर बहुत ज़्यादा और ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है तो आई गो एंड जस्ट गो इनटू दैट रैबिट होल कि अच्छा मैं इम्प्लीमेंट भी कर दूंगा इसको, मैं इसके ब्लॉग्स पढ़ लूंगा सारे टू गेट अ मच मोर क्लियरर, क्योंकि मुझे वो जानना होता वाई. आई हैव दैट क्या बोलते हैं उसको चिल बोलते हैं ना कि वाई मतलब क्यों किया ये. तो आई थिंक इट जस्ट goes into I do go into that rabbit hole कि अच्छा इसका why क्यों किया, कैसे किया, कब किया, सब जानना है.
This single word can literally change how you approach upskilling. This why can just change, like if you keep asking that, I think I've seen a lot of people who मतलब मैं भी ऐसा ही था, इसीलिए मैं कह सकता हूँ कि a lot of people, because I used to think कि ये मैंने देख लिया है, पढ़ लिया है and I have good knowledge about it now. But अगर मैं उसके बीच अंदर घुसना शुरू करूँ, अगर if someone starts interrogating me on it and if they keep asking why, I know I'm going to get stuck at some point. So this has just changed a lot.
You will see this मतलब it's a little off track, but क्या होता है कि when you go into interviews for international companies where there are foreign people outside of India interviewing you, they have much more concrete let's say foundational knowledge as compared to you, क्योंकि वो फेस वैल्यू पे नहीं ले रही चीज़ें. दे हैव मच मोर क्लियरर फाउंडेशन बिकॉज वो वाई मतलब वो सब चीज़ के पीछे वाई जानते हैं. वो और वो तुमसे इंटरव्यू में पूछेंगे ऐसी चीज़ कि तुम वाई पूछते रहेंगे, वो वाई, एंड दे कीप ऑन गोइंग इनटू द डेप्थ ऑफ इट.
It could also be that they are innately more curious and they really want to understand कि भाई तुम क्या सोच रहे हो इस बारे में, like what is your thought about it, and that's asking those whys can get them a window into your brain कि भाई तुम कैसे सोचते हो इस बारे में. मे बी दे वुड ऑलरेडी नो कि क्या चीज़ चल रही है. डू यू ऑफन रीड इंजीनियरिंग बुक्स इन जनरल?
I don't shy away from reading technical books and research papers. I even go ahead and अगर मुझे बहुत मज़ा आ रहा हो तो I go ahead and just implement them. तो अभी recently जैसे I'm right now going deeper into OS, तो I'm reading OSTEP करके एक तो it is a book on operating systems and goes deeper into it. तो उसमें थोड़ा practical knowledge and तो अभी वो पढ़ रहा हूँ. बट इससे पहले जैसे DDI पढ़ी थी मैंने, I mentioned it in the last one. तो
this one, this one, nice.
I love this one actually. मतलब life changing रही है. So
I think research papers, this was like a hidden hack for me. I did not know about this before, but I think most people should know about it. That research papers would unlock those insights जो तुमको blog में नहीं मिलेंगे बहुत जल्दी. So one thing which I started facing difficulty in was how do you go about reading these papers? मतलब for me it was very daunting when I started. मतलब मेरे manager ने मेरे को बोला कि you should start reading some papers because that's how you will go into research mode. And I was like, papers, like first reaction was in my mind, I was like, that's gonna be tough, that's gonna be hard. How do you start approaching it?
of course मतलब रिसर्च पेपर पढ़ना बहुत आसान सा नहीं है.
हाँ.
अगर होता तो सब पढ़ रहे होते. तो what I usually do is कि I read the abstract, introduction and conclusion फिर. I get a sense कि क्या हो रहा पेपर में. If it interests me, then I go deep. The issue is कि सबको लगता है कि अच्छा पेपर उठाया तो पूरा ही पढ़ना है, similar to how tech books are. कि अब उठाया तो पूरा ही पढ़ना पड़ेगा चैप्टर. नहीं आ रहा मजा, छोड़ दो. That's okay. अगर भाई तुम्हें अपना पता चला ना कि तुम्हारा क्या इंटरेस्ट है, अब नहीं है उसमें तो छोड़ दो. If you are forced to do it, then you do it half-heartedly and फिर वो जैसे बोलते मजा नहीं आ रहा टास्क, फिर कोई काम कर रहे हो तुम उसका कि तुम काम के लिए कर रहे हो. तो आई फील कि द ईजिएस्ट वे टू फाइंड कि इफ दिस रिसर्च पेपर इज फॉर यू, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, इंट्रोडक्शन, कंक्लूजन,
Hmm.
दैट्स इट. उतने में समझ में आ जाएगा कि इज दिस रिसर्च पेपर इंटरेस्ट यू और नॉट.
That's a good way to look about it. मतलब हाँ, ये तो I have seen a lot of people reading books very wrong, and not even just tech books. Like generally लोग fiction जैसा पढ़ते हैं
हाँ,
बुक्स को, कि अगर हमने पिक कर लिया है कोई टॉपिक तो अब हम पूरा ही पढ़ के छोड़ेंगे, अब हम पूरा खत्म करेंगे बुक को अच्छे से, और ऐसे लग रहा है स्टोरी बुक जैसा पढ़ेंगे कि भाई वीकेंड पे उठाया और पूरी बुक पढ़ डाली. आई डोंट थिंक that's gonna work in the longer term. You're not
books
gonna.
are actually dense ना. Research
Yeah.
paper are dense, तो you can't go ahead and on a weekend कि अच्छा मैं 2 घंटे बैठ के पूरी बुक खत्म कर दूंगा.
हाँ.
And like if you see it something like कि अच्छा खत्म करनी है तो that's I think the wrong mindset to start with. अगर तुम उसको देखते हो कि मतलब go in with zero expectations, just go out with curiosity.
बचपन में ऐसे स्कूल होता था, स्कूल बुक होती थी पूरी पढ़नी है क्योंकि वो एग्जाम में आएगी. आई थिंक वो फंडामेंटल ना 12-14 साल तक पढ़ के पीपल लाइक फिट इट इन देयर ब्रेन. यू सेड दैट यू स्टार्ट इम्प्लीमेंटिंग थिंग्स like whatever you read in the paper. Do you like push it out as projects, or like how do you approach project based learning, because that has been a very common thing across tech community and like tech influencers, like project based learning करनी चाहिए, तुमको project बनाना चाहिए वो. How do you approach projects?
So I did release जब मैं sabbatical पे था, so I did release a lot of like my own database. बहुत छोटा सा, it's not doing anything. It's like a cache kind of a thing, KV store.
But it helps you understand things from first principles
Yes.
level, right? You have kept asking why, because that's when you'll reach कि भाई database कैसे बनेगा
वही.
eventually. What has been your like most famous या favorite project अभी तक जो तूने बनाया हो?
I think it's definitely Cricklang, the cricket themed जो programming language बनाई थी, which was again stemmed from a curiosity that I had in college कि यार प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज यूज तो कर रहा हूँ लेकिन प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज बनती कैसे है. एंड इट एक्चुअली वेंट वायरल उस वक्त. तो
How long did it take for you to build it?
20 दिन लग गए थे मुझे बनाने में.
भाई 20 दिन is still a doable unit of time.
हाँ मतलब 20 दिन लग गए थे, बट आई वाज ऑन सैबैटिकल तो पूरे दिन मान लो उसमें.
अच्छा, then it is good amount of time.
हाँ तो
How, like what was the best learning out of that experience of building your own programming language?
आई थिंक मुझे अब प्रोसेस समझ में आया कि आई वाज लाइक कि हवा बना रखा है वही प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज कैसे बनाते हैं, इज इट रियली टू हार्ड और समथिंग लाइक दैट. बट while building it I actually understood कि अच्छा इसका मतलब इन स्टेप्स में डिवाइडेड है एंड इट्स सो इजी. मतलब इट्स समथिंग सिमिलर टू लाइक टोकनाइजेशन कि तुमने टोकनाइज कर रहे हो तुम पूरे उसको एंड यू जस्ट आर organizing the tokens in such a way कि you are then traversing it to like interpret what has the user done. मतलब तुम्हें कभी क्या लगता है ना कि यार ये सोल्यूशन बहुत सिंपल है, ये हो नहीं सकता, एंड इट्स एक्चुअली दैट सिंपल कि
like you build Cricklang. मैं बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट रैंडमली बनाता रहता हूँ. मैं अभी रिसेंटली आई जस्ट पिक्ड अप स्विफ्ट क्योंकि मुझे पता नहीं है, बहुत चुल आई थी कि मैक ऐप्स कैसे बनते हैं. एंड देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम विच आई face a lot. I'm not sure if other people face it or not, but I started like I told you, right? I started documenting my life, right? So पिछले साल I promised myself that I'm gonna document a lot of my life, and I got a camera for that, and then I clicked shit ton of photos. The problem with that is once I put my SD card into my laptop, right? उसमें क्या हो रहा है कि अब मैंने एक ही सीन के शायद like 6-8 फोटो खींच दिए हैं. But it is very tough for me to just sort those things out. वरना मेरे पास एक स्टोरेज का भी तो लिमिट है ना. मतलब I already filled up I think 1.5 hard drives, right, with photos and videos. तो मैंने एक बस मैक ऐप बना दिया जो कुछ नहीं करेगा, जिसमें तुम SD कार्ड लगाओ तो it will pick up that folder, and what it will do is it will just allow you to left swipe right swipe on photos to sort them out and delete them, right? तो वो बस उनको 2 फोल्डर में वैसे बांट देगा. And that was a good enough learning experience for me to understand how like Swift में कैसे लिखना है, like what are the constructs and like how do you build an iOS app. वो तो eventually मुझे बाद में जाके realize हुआ कि भाई मुझे उसको publish करने के लिए Apple को pay करना पड़ेगा. That's a different story altogether. But like अभी मुझे जैसे for example if I have to run that app, I have to just open Xcode and then run it. Because
that's a fun project. मतलब this reminds me of my first program that I wrote. तो ऐसी फन में मैं कॉलेज में था, ठीक है. तो तभी पाइथन सीखी थी नहीं. आई वाज लाइक कि यार मेरे डेस्कटॉप पे बहुत ज़्यादा कचरा है, मतलब सारी इमेजेस हैं, स्क्रीनशॉट यहीं पे है, एंड अलग अलग .txt फाइल्स अलग रखी हुई हैं, कुछ रखा हुआ है. आई जस्ट मेड अ पाइथन स्क्रिप्ट जो उनको मतलब डिवाइड करके खुद अपने आप अलग अलग फोल्डर्स में डाल देगा.
दैट इज एक्चुअली कूल.
तो आई वाज लाइक अच्छा ये इमेजेस वाला फोल्डर है, अगर ये डॉट जेपीजी या कुछ ऐसा इमेज टाइप है तो इसको इसमें डाल दो, .txt तो इसमें डाल दो, गेम्स वेम्स है तो उसमें डाल दो.
One thing which, apart from all this, like self-learning, is my 8th class computer teacher used to tell me कि अगर कोई भी चीज़ सीखनी है तो पहली चीज़ है गुरु की तलाश. ठीक है, you need to find the right mentor, you need to find the right teacher. अब वो सही किताब भी हो सकती है, वो सही इंसान भी हो सकता है. It can be like a course or whatever, right? But you need to find someone to bring that knowledge to you. Because what will happen is if you start finding that knowledge yourself, right, reinventing the wheel, it's going to take you a very long time. Why not just pile upon the knowledge which already someone has learned and concentrate it into an elixir and then giving it to you?
I think there is first of all the misconception कि mentor और teacher किधर देखते लोग कि वो तुम्हारे संग जिंदगी भर रहेगा ऐसा कि तुम्हें हर रोज पढ़ा रहा है, कुछ कर रहा है. But it's not like that, to be honest. मतलब इट्स वियर्ड टू से टू गो टू समवन एंड से कि यार आप मेंटर बनो,
मुझे मेंटर कर दो. I do get a lot of those requests on LinkedIn, but then I fail to understand like how should I mentor you? I mean, you should have a concrete question which you are bringing to me.
You have to be like very pinpoint with the questions and ask them कि अच्छा मैंने ये ट्राई कर लिया है, ये मुझे जॉब नहीं मिल रही है. Because you have to also show your willingness कि तुमने काम किया हुआ है. You're just stuck at one point. अब तुम randomly किसी बंदे के पास जाओगे who does not know you. He has zero ROI, to be honest.
उसके लिए भी जीरो ROI है, तुम्हारे लिए भी मे बी जो एडवाइस होगी वो बहुत जेनरिक होगी. लाइक तुम्हें जेनरिक एडवाइस नहीं चाहिए प्रॉब्ली. लाइक अगर तुम किसी मेंटर के पास जा रहे हो, राइट, और इफ यू आर विद द माइंडसेट या तो कि भाई मुझे बिल्कुल डायरेक्शन लेस हूँ, मुझे नहीं पता क्या करना है, इन दैट केस आई थिंक you should bring your approach कि मैंने ये किया है, like you said, and then you start asking specific questions about that. How did you find the mentors you had in your life?
I've just shown up, to be honest. I've shown up at places कि मैंने दिखाया है कि मैं मेहनत करता हूँ in general, like showing up on social media, showing up in different Discord channels. It's just putting yourself out there कि ये बंदा exist करता है, he is very consistent and he is very disciplined and दिखता है कि अच्छा मेहनत कर रहा है ये बंदा. तो people will start offering help. ऐसी कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी. मतलब people will be more than willing to help you.
You've shown some agency
Yes.
before, like you actually approach, right? कुछ तुमने अपने तरफ से एक मेहनत करी, अपने तरफ से एक effort put किया, and I think people value that effort a lot. I mean, I personally value that effort a lot. अगर कोई मेरे पास message करेगा just saying hi, probably that's like the worst message you can send me, because there are a lot of messages which already have hi in them only, and they are just like sitting in my inbox. For me at least, I prefer when people are directly up about their ask, that this is my ask, this is what I have done, this is my ask, this is what I want from you, right? And I'll be more than happy to answer that question because my friction has reduced कि अब मैं इसको क्या answer दूँ, right? अब मुझे पता है कि exactly you are asking for this. I can finish up with this where I would like to ask if that would be a really great end to the entire 3-part series is if you have a message or if you have something to tell to someone who feel that they're like stagnant right now, they're like मेरी growth नहीं हो रही career में, मेरी job पे नहीं हो रही, what is the first thing they can start doing so that they feel like pushed?
I think first of all they need to stop relying on their job to, let's say, gain knowledge. क्योंकि एक टाइम का रिपीटेटिव काम होने वाला है. It's very hard to find, let's say, a job where you are always growing.
That is also true.
So you should, I feel कि साइड में पढ़ना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है इस चीज़ के लिए. Like, just being curious ना, it actually pays dividend. You just have to be curious. Just start asking why. एक वो रहता है ना कि हम स्कूल में हमें आदत डालते हैं कि अच्छा why नहीं पूछना तो लोग पागल समझेंगे. I think it's the reverse, to be honest. चाहे तो मैं उस वक्त मजाक उड़ाएं, लेकिन asking the whys is a superpower. It actually gives you in-depth knowledge about something, and I would actually suggest everyone to ask why about everything.
I think be it outside, I think, or be it in the job, if someone is feeding you some knowledge in your job, I have started tend to ask a lot of whys. and that has helped me gain more depth over, like जैसे मेरा architecture was a little bit weaker, so I started asking why कि इस पे क्यों deploy किया, why not this, ठीक है, why did you choose this particular GPU model to deploy something, right? And those could be some harder questions, but I think this brings us to the end of our 3-part series of standing out as a developer, and there were so many insights. I think over the 3 episodes there were so many insights, and I think listeners or watchers who are seeing this and listening to this would have something to take out of like from 3 episodes. And I mean, I would definitely love to know about whatever you think in the comments. And if you found something which is very insightful, you can just tweet it and like just document it out, right? And you can tag Manthan or me if you have something in your mind, or you can use the hashtag BreakingProd, because I keep monitoring that a lot. So you can reach us quickly. Thanks a lot, Manthan. This was really insightful, man. It was really good.